Hello, I'm Mahili and I'm 14 years old. I went to LCCS for a couple years and I learned so much. I made so many great friends, learned so many lessons, had so many great field trips, and made so many great memories that I'll never forget. All of these memories have shaped me into the person I am today. Everybody in their 8th grade year always says that they want to leave and that they're so excited to graduate. Everyone says that they don't want to see the school or the teachers again, yet in reality, everyone knows that they're going to miss LCCS and that they're going to be sad when they have to leave. They know they're going to feel like a huge part of their heart is missing because it's going to feel like you're leaving home. I'm going to tell you about my experience at LCCS. Let's start with my first day of 3rd grade at LCCS. Both of my siblings got into LCCS, and I thought I was the lucky one because I wouldn't have to switch schools and leave my friends. I was wrong, obviously. My last memory of my old school is me waving goodbye to my best friend Sade for the last time. I remember being extremely nervous. Just thinking about it makes me nervous. I remember begging my mom to let me stay, and I also remember at some point just not caring anymore if I had to go or stay. When we arrived at the school, I held on tightly to my mom's hand. The first teacher I met was a nice blonde lady who smelled of peppermint and was chewing very light blue gum. After a while of my mom talking and me latching onto her arm like a leech, too afraid to let go, a teacher walked in and told me that I had to come with him. I nervously said goodbye to my mom and walked into the direction of the gym with him. I calmed myself down by telling myself that I would just walk into the gym, sit down on the bleachers, and hopefully no one would notice me till I got to my class. Yet he had very different plans. He shouted, "Everybody, this is Miley. Come to head her if you're in Miss Lefkowitz's class." I greeted myself to everyone, and I asked a nice young girl with curly blonde hair if I could play tag with her and her friends. She said yes, and I met another girl. I had a lot of fun playing tag with them, and I'm still best friends with one of them to this day. After my first day, I assumed everything was going to be uphill from there. Yeah, I was wrong. I ended up being bullied for a scar on my forehead and for me being so skinny. I also chose the wrong crowd to be my friends, and it's hard to tell who's fake when all your friends are fake. 3rd grade was a pretty bumpy year for me. It also took me a really long time to get used to the building. It wasn't all bad though. We got to go on a fun field trip and study the Lenapes. It was an extremely fun trip. We also went outside most of the time and played a game, but I forgot the name of it. One day I was running really fast and I fell and scraped my leg. This kid started laughing at me and made me feel really upset. I looked up to so many kids in the higher grades, including my brother's grade. I became friends with one of his friends. 4th grade was even harder though. Some people would tease me here and there, but that wasn't the worst part to me. The worst part was the fact that my 3 best friends made an oath not to be my friend. When they told me that in the 4th grade classroom, I bursted into tears and stayed on the carpet by myself. My best friend was one of those girls. Luckily, she apologized not much longer after the incident, and we stayed best friends. That was one of the many lesson teaching experiences I had at LCCS. I found many new friends during that time, though. I also learned that not everyone's going to be my friend, and that's okay. Just because you can laugh and joke with a person doesn't have to make them your friend. A friend is someone who supports you even when times get rough. In 5th grade, my best friend and I were inseparable. We had the exact same schedule, down to advisory, and we were inseparable. 5th grade was a pretty good year for me. My favorite memory of 5th grade was the Camp Bernie field trip. I'm positive that no one who went to the field trip will ever forget that experience. I remember in the morning packing my bags, and I was putting so much stuff like I was going on an away trip for months. When I arrived at the school, everybody was so excited. The bus was right there, and it was full of singing and laughing and shouting. When we arrived, we met counselors, and I was the only one. The only one I remember was a counselor named Max, because he was hilarious. We did so many fun things like hiking, canoeing, and I even went on a little hunt for animals, obviously, just to see them. A little bit later in the day, it was getting darker, and it started to rain on our hike, so we had to hurry up and get back to the cabin. When we were walking and talking on the way back. We came across a vine that had many. We came across a vine, so me and a couple of friends decided to swing on it. When we got back to the cabin, all the girls were talking as a group, and I felt like that experience really connected us as a grade. When it got late at night, we went to the campfire and made s'mores. We got back to the cabin later on, and I stayed up all night talking to my friends. I ended up falling in the same bed as one of my friends because we just passed out due to it being so late. In the morning, we went out to go get breakfast, and it was absolutely delicious. And later on in the evening, we had to leave, and I was so sad but I'll never forget that experience. 5th and 6th grade was where I met most of my true friends. I think 6th grade was my best year. I made some of my best friends, and my grades were kind of decent. I had a lot of fun that year. We were doing a big project on kindness, and I got partnered with 2 people I never really worked with or talked with. Yeah, we ended up doing really good with the project. That year, we watched the movie Wonder and went to go to the movies. I sat by my best friend, and we cried watching that movie. That year, we also got to do the spirit games. It was so much fun to do for the first time as a middle schooler, even though we lost. I saw how much LCCS did try to connect us and bring us closer. My grades weren't that good, but I always tried to strive to be better. Some years were better than others. 7th grade is when I stopped caring about my grades and started to get in trouble. I wasn't really thinking about what would happen if I acted out. I just acted out because I thought I was cool. I just kind of did things to make myself seem cool, even though I was hurting people while I was doing